Welcome, everyone. Apologies for making you listen to that very, very long introduction, but this is honestly my favorite song in the entire game.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, saint of the deep, Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the Giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
Well, that introduction is also really cool. So, I'm gonna go ahead and name ourselves the usual Salen Armo. I think I can load. Can I load a creation? I swear I could load. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna be... Yeah, why not? Young, stay at night, burial gift, we'll wanna do a young white branch. Already have all of that. Classes again at night, so yeah, let's go ahead and begin, I think. And here we are in the Cemetery of Ash, so welcome everyone. We are going to begin our Let's Play of Dark Souls 3. I'm sorry I took a little bit of time off. Been doing a little bit of reorganizing in the back room, trying to make it a little bit more spacious, a little bit more clean. Wrote out some plans to at least keep the series a little bit more organized compared to the beginning of Dark Souls 1 Remastered, where I just kind of was winging it as I went. So, yeah, here we are. We're a knight. And in our inventory, we have an Estus flask. And in here, it says, the undead treasure these dull green flasks. Fill with Estus at bonfires and drink to restore HP. The journey of an undead has always traced the bonfires, and no journey of import has been made without an Estus flask. And then we also decided to start with the young white branch. So, branch of a white birch received from somebody apparently. This was once a token of friendship. Used to become something that blends into the surroundings, though the branch will unfortunately be consumed. Perhaps treasuring the memory is more important. And I think we want to get rid of this from our heart bar. Except I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, it's in notes. And then we have the dark sign, obviously. The dark sign is the sign of an accursed undead. The dark sign returns its bearer to the last bonfire rested at, or at the bonfire at Firelink Shrine, but at the cost of all souls held. Carriers of the dark sign are reborn after death, and eventually lose their minds, turning hollow, and so it is they are driven from their homelands. A black separation crystal, a charm of farewell granted to banished undead. The crystal sends phantom backs to their homes, or back to yours. Beware of fickle use of this item if you intend to nurture relations. And then the Way of White Circlet. Not really sure what this is for. Never used it, so... Those who engage in unjust deeds when in contact with other worlds will lose their connection to them. Way of White Circlets assume such sin as their own, but are found few and far between. Acting without honor will never be without risk. So pretty cool. We've been given a long sword that I just unequipped. So, a balanced, widely used standard straight sword. Inflicts reliable standard damage as well as high thrust damage. And in Dark Souls 3, we are now given skill sets, which is really nice. And then the Knight Shield, so an orthodox shield of the Knight commonly used by low-ranking knights. Medium shields are the most average of shields, providing a practical balance of damage, absorption, stability, and weight. And we were obviously given all this knight set that I just unequipped again. So, armor of a lowly knight, fashioned from solid iron. This iron armor might be on the heftier side compared to others of its ilk, but as such offers great physical absorption in exchange for imposing weight. Do not think to wear it without the necessary vitality. Alrighty, so yeah, we're gonna unequip that and keep our Eustace flask. And unlike Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3 is actually a game that I'm actually a lot better at than Dark Souls 1. So. And here we pick up the Ashen Estus Flask. Ashen Estus Flask. Undead treasures these dull ashen flasks. Fill with Estus at bonfires and drink to restore FP, which is focus points. Quite befitting of an unkindle, an Ashen Estus flask turns a bonfire's heat cold. So yeah, pretty neat. But it's also kind of sad because here's a fellow knight that has just kind of fallen here and just dropped that there. Now let's continue on. It's such a cool, just such a cool view just being here. Such a cool view. And there we can see Firelink Shrine. bell up top. It's pretty cool. So let's get this bonfire. Fading souls. Hear something. Oh yeah. There we go. So fading souls. What we picked up. 2 of them. The fading soul of a corpse, used to gain a smattering of souls. Let the fire creeper transform this sovereignless soul into a source of strength. For to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. A Titanite shard. I wonder if the description is different than it is in Dark Souls 1. So, Titanite shard for weapon reinforcement. Reinforces weapon to +3. Titanite shards are fragments of the legendary slabs. Titanite is etched into into weapons to reinforce. So not a lot different, except I think the ones with higher, like the Titanite chunks or the large Titanite shards, those ones had a little bit more to talk about. Fire bombs. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna go ahead and reset the entire area, and I'll equip these fire bombs. So, a bisque urn filled with black powder explodes, inflicting fire damage. Fire damage, which differs from physical damage, is highly effective against creatures of flesh, beasts, and other foes that might naturally have cause to fear the flame. Oh, I didn't even get the rest emote, so I guess that would have been important to have. I wonder if you get it if you just ignore it. Alrighty, here we go. It's so cool to look at Champion Gundyr here. Makes you wonder if he just came out of this grave here, or if this is just kind of where he decided to stop. The pus of man is just kind of growing out of him. Super cool. Destroyed, and we got a coiled sword. And our ember is restored. So let's go ahead and read what that item is. Coiled sword. Sword missing from the shrine bonfire. Cannot be equipped as a weapon. Thrust into the shrine bonfire to restore its power and enable travel between bonfires. This sword is only bequeathed to chosen Ash, as judged by the Iudex, who awaits the arrival of Ash as a scabbard. Oh, excuse me. Just hiccuping all over the place now. Not a bad first fight here. I believe this is Lothric Castle. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure this is what it is. Let's continue on ahead. I love this dead hollow. I think this has a broken straight sword. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it has any lore purposes. A straight sword with a broken blade. A weapon with no exceptional qualities. Only a mad hollow would choose to fight with this. So apparently that actually stacks with luck, which is quite interesting. Oof, that was more fading souls. Make sure nothing drops on me. And a homeward bone. Let's go ahead and read that one as well. Homeward bone. Bone fragment reduced to white ash. Return to last bonfire used for resting, or to the shrine bonfire. Bonfires are sustained by bones of the undead. In rare cases, their previous owner's strong urge to seek bonfires enchant their bones with a homeward instinct. I don't know why I want to add the word special. Alrighty. Let's trudge forward and see what else is here. Just kind of, like, strange that the Hollows have all holding their head because they've obviously gone insane because they've lost their souls. More fading souls. Fading souls here, huh? I'm pretty sure there's a dog there. There we go. An ember. Ember. No one kindled can ever truly claim the embers that burn within a champion's bosom, which is precisely what it makes their yearning for warmth so keen. Gain the strength of flame and increased max HP until death. With the strength of fire, the summoning signs of the unkindled can become invisible, and seekers of embers can be summoned to join in cooperation. But beware, the embers may also attract invaders. I think it's also interesting to note that an ember looks awfully close to what humanity looks like, except it's just charred and on fire. But they did drop the humanity mechanic, and instead we have embered, non-embered. So, different mechanics, kind of the same things, except the difference is as soon as you ember, you automatically, how do you say, take on human form as it was in Dark Souls 1. Here we are in Firelink Shrine. So let's go ahead and have a chat with this character here.
Ah, another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots.
Collapse.
Don't you think? What a sick joke. Asking us to seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. We're talking true legends, those who would link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots.
I think, as of right now, this is all he has to say.
Asking to talk.
Okay. And let's talk to one of the most important characters here.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I'm a firekeeper. I tend to the flame, and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones, and must be delivered to them. To this end, I am at thy side.
See what she has to say.
Ashen One, to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength. I will show thee how. Ashen One, bring me souls plucked from their vessels. Ashen One, to be unsovereign. I'm Ashen.
Alright, and with that, we're gonna actually
Very
level
well.
up.
Then touch the darkness within me. Take nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
Always strength. I don't think she has anything.
Ashen One, Ashen.
Okay.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the flames guide thee.
Okay, let's talk to another person. I believe his name is Ludleth. And to be honest, I did not know this person existed for a very long time. And he actually was a Lord of Cinder. Probably the only one, at least in our world, who had decided to return to their throne. So let's see what he has to say.
O thou unkindled, and a seeker of lords. I am Ludleth of Corland. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the Lord of Cinder. If substantiation be thy want, set thine eyes upon my charred course. This sad cadaver, no need to be coy. Have a closer look. Knowest thou of our purpose? 5 thrones will take 5 lords as kindling for the linking of the fire. The fast-fading flame must be licked to preserve this world. A reenactment of the first linking of the fire. So it is, I became a Lord of Cinder. I may be but small, but I will die a Colossus. Knowst thou the apes I... Now, do not be away over long.
So it's interesting that he said that it is a reenactment. And he says that there are 5 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not sure if the 5 is... if you count from the very beginning, you have Grave Lord Nito, the Witch of Izalith, Seath, the Scaleless, the 4 Kings, and finally Lord Gwyn. And maybe that's the 5 that are needed to rekindle the fire. So, and each one of these on the back have their names engraved. Saint Aldrich of the Deep. Ludleth the Exiled. Holy King Lothric, last hope of his line. Watchers of the Abyss. Yorm the Giant of the Profaned Capital. And not one has come to the throne except for Ludleth, who seems to have taken this up as an honorable cause rather than looking down upon it. So let's talk to this friendly person here.
A pleasure to make thine acquaintance, Ashen One. I am but a humble handmaid of the shrine. Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me. As is thy wont? No? Ashen One, if my wares are not to thy satisfaction, bring me umbral ash. With ash, I'll fashion new wares. Is it not our sorry fate to sup on death? Ashen One, be sure to bring more souls.
And I believe this is the only returning character from Dark Souls 1.
Well, a newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith, such is my purpose. Weapons and protection are sturdy enough by and large, but when overused, they'll eventually break. When their durability is low, repair becomes a necessity. Use a powder, or simply rest at a bonfire. But should chance impel them break, bring them me. I'll hammer them back into shape. They take no pleasure in breaking, I assure ye. So handle them with care, if you would. There are 2 ways to smith weapons. Simple reinforcement is one, and infusion the other. Reinforcement is straightforward. It strengthens a weapon without altering its property. Infusion is a more advanced form of smithing that infuses an element. Reinforcement requires titanite, and infusion requires gems. Bring the stones, and I'll do the smithing. It's my purpose, after all. In battle, your weapons are your only friends. Forge them well, and they won't let you down.
Hoorah. And I think that's about all he has to say. Never mind.
Another matter. Infusing weapons with gems requires a special kind of coal. My humble coals won't be any use infusing more unusual gems. I know, it's an awful shame, but it's all I have. Oh, please don't give me that look. Believe it or not, I'm quite thin-skinned. Oh, by the by, if you find any Estus shards, bring them here. They can be used to reinforce either of your Estus flasks. Without those flasks, you'd want for life or focus. And they'll always stay with you. Why not treat them well? Huh? Weapons and so.
All right, looks like we've had every talk to blah. We've exhausted all his dialogue. That's what I meant to say.
Pretty be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
Alrighty. And I believe that is, at least as of right now, all of the characters here. So, I'm gonna go ahead and rest here. Actually, I need to ember the coiled sword. I don't know if she has anything to say about it.
Ashen One, produce the coiled sword at the bonfire. The mark of ash will guide thee to the land of the lords, to Lothric, where the homes of the lords converge. Farewell, Ashen One. May the flames guide thee.
Now we will embed the coiled sword. Alrighty. We're gonna go back out and take care of someone who gives a lot of new guys a lot of trouble. I know, I've dealt with that myself in the past. Another ember. Maybe they haven't loaded in yet, but when I first played this game, there were tons of bloodstains here. And I looked at this guy without clothes, I was like, what the heck? It can't be that hard, and of course, he wrecks you. It's a good time. I think he can come up here. Oof. Did not anticipate the parry. Oof. That was bad. So we picked up an Uchkitana, the master's attire, and his gloves. So let's go ahead and have a read of those. Uchkitana, a unique katana characterized by the fire. A unique katana characterized by the fine craftsmanship of an eastern land where it was forged. The finely sharpened blade cuts flesh like butter and causes bleeding, but breaks easily as a result. And then we picked up his attire. Master's attire, a terribly worn shirt. Men are fond of weaving tales to explain the raggedness of their garb. My sixth sense warned me of danger, and I danced between flurries of blades, unscathed, but alas, my clothes went to tatters. So the same thing, just terribly worn manchets. Manchets? I have no idea how to pronounce that. Yeah, so the Swordmaster definitely gave me a hard time a long, long time ago. No longer. And unfortunately, this does not open from the other side. This does not open from this side. So we have to come back here later. The East-West Shield. East-West Shield. A wooden shield decorated with the ancient symbol of the two-headed eagle, close to a small shield in size. Wooden shields are light, manageable, and offer relatively high magic absorption. And I'm pretty sure there isn't anything else of use to us around here. But, you know, I'll have a look around and make sure that I'm not too crazy. There's an item over here, of course. Homeward bone. Okay, so I believe there's the Seed of the Giant to pick up, and then after that, I will probably end the episode. I know it wasn't very exciting episode. It's more filled with story and lore rather than action, so I don't need to heal up. Not yet, at least. This thing is so cool. The Seed of the Giant tree is yet to fall. Alrighty. Well, with that then, I'm going to go ahead and just wrap up this episode. The next episode we will do pretty much all of the, I believe it's, Lothric? What is it called? High Wall of Lothric. We'll do all of that up to Vort of the Boreal Valley. And from that point on, we will continue on to the High Wall. Or the Undead Settlement. Wow, I can totally speak today. I would like to thank you all for joining me on this episode. Have a wonderful evening, day, whatever it is you're doing. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.